Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, today, something new from ICM, from their very latest 2025 kits production. Monty's Office Caravan, Field Marshal Montgomery's famous Leyland retriever based caravan that was used in North Africa and of course later used in Europe in D-Day and beyond as well. Now of course I recently showed this as part of Matchbox March. I think it was episode 6 or 7, don't quote me on that. 6 I think, where we got out the orange range and we showed they're very impressive, especially for the time, very impressive armour vehicles. But now we've got something that everybody's kind of dreamed about, because so many of you will have seen already that at the end of last year, in the autumn, that they brought out Field Marshal Montgomery with, I think it was General Brooke and General Horrocks actually having like a planning meeting, the 3 figures in 35th scale. Just a small kit, but very impressive. Some great detail. Now we've got the vehicle to go with it. What is there not to like? So let's get cracking. So it is kit number 35603. First things first, they've also very kindly provided to show you the Monty's Caravan acrylic paint set. Look at this. I just love the way they tailor these in. It's so perfect. You know, it means you don't have to think about it. You just buy this set and you'll have everything you need to complete the kit. Apart from the glue, of course. So we've got US dark green, I think that's probably the tarpaulins and things, buff, light earth, chocolate, off-white and extra dark green. So we've actually got a set of 6 actual paints. There's no varnish in this one, no. And on the back, very helpfully, it shows you where to apply all the different colours. So it's like a colour guide of its own, really. Externally and internally, and it's because of all the different colours internally. I think we've got the extra colour, and obviously I don't think that varnish is needed really, because it'll all be matte anyway, won't it? But isn't that a nice set? It's even got use for the ceiling in the office, painting the ceiling, and in the bathroom there's like bathroom is the off-white colour, so the bathroom has even got the ceiling in the bathroom has even got a different colour than it has in the office. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? A really good set. Now, several of you will remember recently, back in March, start of March, that I got the full ICM paint set of their entire acrylic range, which I fully intend to use. And if you look just over behind me, just behind my head there, you can actually see them propped up just behind me, so you know they haven't gone anywhere and they're going to get used. Anyway, that's a great set. So that's set number 3078. Strongly recommended. Just see me one more time. Strongly recommended for if you're going to get this Monty's Caravan. I can imagine this is going to be relatively popular, especially for those of you like my friend David Mummery. He's a big fan of British lorries, World War II lorries and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to be a popular choice for him and a lot of others. So let's have a look then. What have we got? I'll give you the full SP, what their spec is on the side. It says as follows. One of the most famous vehicles of World War II was Montgomery's mobile office, known as Monty's Office Caravan. And by the way, I must just say that this is very unusual, this kit. I haven't opened it, it's completely sealed from ICM. It's solid in there, there's no rattle at all. And it feels heavy as well, it's not light. So it feels like there's quite a lot of plastic in this box. In fact, yeah, okay. It says at the bottom, 436 parts, so there is a lot of plastic. Now it's going to retail around about, I think this is about £35 to £40, that mark. But do check, because whenever I quote prices, people say, how much is it? The trouble is it varies so much, and there's discounts and there's variations in different territories, different taxes, etc. Tariffs, dare I mention it, all that kind of stuff. So it's only ever going to be an approximation. But I'm thinking 35 to 40 quid-ish. Anyway, it says, the vehicle features a meticulously detailed office interior complete with a writing desk with lamps, sofa, shelves, storage cabinets and picture frames. The bathroom interior has also been faithfully recreated. Monty's Loo. The decals include portraits of German military commanders, that adorn the walls of Montgomery's mobile office. Yeah, he's got Kesselring and Rommel to name too, I know. That's probably Guderian, I think, as well. There we go. Colour schemes show the different paint variations throughout the vehicle and the different periods. And on the other side, we have got, zoom me for this, we've got the three options. So you've got the North Africa in the summer of 42, sorry, autumn 42 I should say. Autumn of 42 in the typical paint desert camo. Then we've got Tripoli, typical of course because this is right on the coast at Tripoli and there was a lot more greenery and trees and palm trees and things, so they've gone for a little bit of proper camo, full camo, a bit of desert, bit of green. And then of course Germany, spring 45, and to be honest I think it was the same colour during the Normandy campaign. I think they just painted it green, you know, and they would always park it up amongst woods and, you know, copses of trees and things like that. So there you have it. Let's have a look then, see what we've got. Looking forward to this, especially, you know, for those of you that have gone and bought or wanted to buy the wanted to replicate the Matchbox set. Well, now you can. All you need to do is make your own diorama, because obviously if you get that figure set, and I'll put a link over here for the figure set so you can have a look at that again when I did the review, and you basically can recreate your Matchbox mid-late 70s diorama easily. Right then. And it's just so solid, and it is heavy. This is absolutely rammed. I can tell before I even opened it. Yes, it's oh, it's got some photo edge. We don't normally get that with ICM. Hey, that's impressive. It's the radiator grill in photo edge. Oh, I'm impressed. It's really rammed. I'm a bit worried about this because it's going to end up being one of those probably a jack-in-the-box kit that take it out and I never get it back in again. Maybe I should just show that to the camera. Just forgive me and indulge me a moment, because if I don't do this, I'll never figure out how to get it back in its box and bag properly. So it comes like that. And it's got the clear parts underneath, and then it's got, yeah, it's got the sort of the roof section underneath. It's really, they've really packed it brilliantly, because that's not going to get damaged in transit. I'm impressed, very impressed. Sometimes, in some of their kits, there can be, especially the bigger kits, like these things like the Sky Crane, which came in double boxes, that they can be a little bit loose, a bit like Airfix, you know, and it can be a little bit of a problem if they get rattled around a lot. Right, let me give you a very nice instruction book and some proper, excellent quality instructions with history, which is what a lot of other manufacturers don't give us. Let's just bathe in this. So it says, when General Montgomery was commanding the 8th British Army in North Africa, he was provided with a specially designed staff vehicle. The original vehicle was created on the standard British Army Leyland Retriever lorry. A non-standard structure was installed on the base chassis, which served as a mobile field office. The interior of this vehicle was divided into two rooms. The small front room was equipped with a bathroom, while the larger room contained wardrobes for personal belongings and clothes, a writing desk, lamps and a large sofa. Previously, this office belonged to Italian General Bergonzoli and was mounted on a Lancia 3RO truck. After the vehicle was captured by a unit of the British 7th Armoured Division, the structure was transferred to the chassis of the British Leyland Retriever. After the end of the combat operations in North Africa, the mobile office was moved over to Europe for D-Day. Montgomery also had two other specialised trucks. One was converted into a mobile bedroom. Oh, as well as. So he actually had a bedroom. Okay. While the other was used for large staff maps and meetings. Oh, so the... Oh, okay, so this is like the general one then. This is very interesting. I didn't know that. I only thought he had one. So they actually have one for meetings with a big map and table. One for sleeping in as a bedroom accommodation, and this one for general use in the daytime, I guess. How interesting. And he goes on to say, all three vehicles were known as Monty's Caravan. These vehicles were used by General and from 1944 Field Marshal Montgomery till the end of the war. They are currently on display at the Imperial War Museum in Duxford. Well, I'm not sure if they actually are now, because this is the Land War Museum, which is now being... Is it being demolished? I know there's a lot of changes happening in Duxford. I should have checked with David Mumley because he knows more about this than me. But there's a lot of changes going on, and that Land Warfare Museum is being removed, as I understand it. And I think somebody said, it may have been him, that I think this is being moved. The original vehicle is being moved back to, I think, to Hendon, maybe to the RAF Imperial War Museum there. Either that or Imperial War Museum in London, perhaps. Anyway, this is true what they're saying, but I think it's about to be out of date because there's some changes going on. And then it says paint set 3078, which we know. Right, okay, so let us have a look. We have some decals, which are... Oh, these are... Oh, you're going to like this. This is going to sell, this kit, more than anything else. Way. And that's not the case normally with decals, is it? But look at this. So who have we got? I'm going to change my glasses. If you just... Excuse me, one moment. I'm going to put the big zoomy glasses on. Reading close-up glasses. See if I can actually tell what I'm looking at. Now then. Does it actually say? I'm going to need a bit more. Sorry, bear with me. I'm going to put the really big zooms on. Here they are. Now this is why I think you're going to like this. Now this is almost like a quiz question, isn't it? Can we tell who's who here? Now bear with me a second while I have a quick look. Well, that's modal. I think modal. We've got definitely got Rommel. Rommel's number 17, I can say for sure. And this is where my knowledge is going to get tested, and some of you will know better than me. We've got a Luftwaffe guy here as well, I think. Is that a Luftwaffe guy? Is that modal number 15? I think it is. Who's 14? Is 18? Is 16 Guderian? Or is that 19? See, I'm not very good with these, am I? I say it's like I haven't done any research before because I didn't know what they're going to look like. I certainly recognise 18. Is that not Kesselring? It's von Rundstedt, isn't it? I think von Rundstedt. I think. Yeah, I mean, 17 is Rommel. 18, I think it's von Rundstedt. I think 15 is Modal. 16 might be Guderian. And 19, 14 I'm struggling with. And 19 I'm struggling with. So you'll have to forgive me. It doesn't actually say. It would have been helpful if ICM had told us who they were. But there you go. So that's your quiz question for today. I'm sure some of you, I wonder if someone like Stuart might know these. I bet he does. Several of you will probably be shouting at the screen saying, "Ah, you idiot." I don't know what you're on about. Isn't that cool though? Then we have got our... Sorry, I've got the wrong glasses on now. I knew this was going to happen. Can't see anything. No, that's better. Then we've got our sprue tree maps. There's quite a few parts that you're not going to use. I think this is some of the parts, the standard parts for the standard truck. And then there's a lot of sprues. There's a lot of plastic here. My goodness. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sprues, plus tyres, plus photo edge. Wow, okay. This might take longer than I was thinking. Right, so you're going to build up your chassis basically. You've got a ladder style chassis basically. With leaf springs. So this is your typical Leyland Retriever, those of you that know the vehicle well. Building all that up, putting on all your ancillaries, and then you get your engine and gearbox being built up here. Your transmission housing going on here. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. Your transmission housing being built onto the back of the engine, and then you've got things like what's that? Oh yeah, it's got the fan there on the front, cooling fan. Then you get your exhaust going on here. And then we've got more leaf springs, quite a few leaf springs, obviously the big beefy ones. I mean, I suppose they need to be because of the weight. And then you've got your differential and drive prop shafts coming through here. It's like a transfer box, isn't it, basically? Anti-roll bars, and then you've got your brake hubs, wheel hubs and brakes. Hub brakes by the look of it, yeah. Before disc brakes, wasn't it? And then we've got the spare wheel, I think it's, well, the wheels and the wheel, the outers and inner wheels and the tyres going on. Then we have got our 6 wheels all being constructed and then popped on there. Complete, and also of course there's going to be a spare wheel at the back as well. Sorry, it's at the front, isn't it? Front side. Yeah, it basically goes between the cab, I think, and the main structure of the office building. Then you're going to build up your the front cab with your windscreen, instrumentation, your floor, gear shifter, handbrake, etc. Steering wheel going on there. Building up then the interior with the transmission tunnel. Well, it's the engine actually, isn't it? The engine sort of sits between the driver and the co-driver, right up the middle, so to speak. And then you're going to build up the back. Just a bit closer. The back bulkhead here, complete with. It's got windows. Are those windows or blinds? No, they're like a headrest, aren't they? Headrests. It's like a backrest, headrest. I see. It's very rudimentary, isn't it, for the driver? There's a spade going in here as well. And then underneath we've got the mud guards, and then the cab goes onto the chassis like so. Building up your radiator with photo etch. Now this is quite relatively unusual for ICM, so it's nice to see them do photo etch. Appropriately though, not just throwing at it right, left and centre like some manufacturers do, but really spotting where it needs photo etch, just one place. The radiator, it'll look great, I'm sure. Popping that on then, the radiator at the front. Then you've got your you've got some chassis supports going in here, fuel tanks. Popping that fuel tank in there, and then you've got running boards on the side, and then we're going to just put in our stowage boxes, which go, where do they go? That wasn't made totally clear. Stowage box. I'm struggling here. Where's the stowage box going? Is it inside? Oh no, they go on the running board. It's just a bit subtle the way they've shown it there in the last frame. 90, 86. Yeah, okay. Then we've got, this is now the caravan itself, Monty's caravan. So we've got this sort of dividing bulkhead, and then it looks like there's a mirror. I think it is with a light. Is it a light or is it just a light? I think it's just a light, like a circular light. Then you've got to put your bulkhead in, and you've got the door that goes in there as well. And then we've got this like a stowage box on either side, I think it is. What are they? Oh, is that the sofa? In fact, again, we do struggle. It's a sofa, in fact, isn't it? It's the arms of the sofa, beg your pardon. So you're building up your sofa here. It looks like T-plan, doesn't it? The old T-plan from the 70s. It's furniture. And then that sofa goes in there, and side on, obviously. Then you've got like a stowage box, which doubles as a table, putting lamps on and things. Then you've got a chair. You're going to construct a chair here. Then we've got like a partition. It's like the entrance, basically, for the rear entry, side partitions. Where there's going to be a door in the middle. Then you've got the sides, the side walls, so to speak, the interior side walls, complete with windows going in here. Popping that onto the side, and then you've got looks like handles. Is that handles? I must talk to ICM again about this labelling. I just wish they'd label it. This is not just them. Airfix is the same, you know. We need labels, just especially on vehicles that many of us may not be that familiar with. It'd just be nice to know what we're you know, if they were labelled, it'd be nicer, wouldn't it? Anyway, you're putting all those in there. Then there's a couple of what looks like shelves. Are they shelves? Yeah, they are indeed. Like it's like supports, table supports, with like a shelf, something like a shelf really, the way it's designed. And then you've got your table lamp, and this is cool, isn't it? Look at this table lamp. Look for Montgomery to look at maps with. And then you've got the top side of the table with its supports. You've got a light, there's a mirror I think there. What else have we got? There's like a little cupboard you're going to build here. It's a cabinet, isn't it? So it's probably a drinks cabinet, I expect. effect, offering drinks to the other generals. And then you're going to bring all that in and then put the opposite side wall on there. You've then got the door. This is the intervening door between, I think it's between the bathroom and the main cabin. Am I right? No, I'm wrong actually. I'm wrong. It's the other way around. That is actually the main door. So when I was talking before, it wasn't made clear, you see. So that one that's got like the partition section, that's the bit that goes through to the bathroom, and this at the back. Sorry, this is I'll get it right in a minute. This is the partition. So I was right originally, but this section here is the final back bulkhead door, the final back wall, so to speak. And then you got the door. You can have it open or closed. And then we're into the bathroom. So in the bathroom, you're going to build up your bathroom wall here, and then you've got all the fittings for the sink, basin, and you've got a towel rail. There's also, is there going to be, where's the loo? Is that just, because we know that there is one in here, because I've seen it. Have we got to that yet? Am I skipping ahead here? No, don't think so. I've missed something here. Sure I missed something. Bear with me 1 second. It's a little bit hard to follow, actually. It's a complicated assembly, this. Quite a lot of build going on. Well, I don't think we got to the loo yet, have we? Okay, so we've got now the outer wall on that goes on the front of the vehicle, which is where the bathroom is. And then we've got carpet template. Carpet template. Oh yeah, it's like a rug carpet that goes in. So they say on page 33 there's a template that you need to refer to. Then we've got a deck chair, like a deck chair style seat going in here. Still mystified. I'm sure we're missing something here. Still not satisfied that I've understood this correctly. Where is that divider? I think even Monty's going to need a loo, so I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's a little bit confusing the way they've shown it. Going back, it's that one. That's the loo. Step 111. Step 111. So it's basically a loo. It has a flip-up lid, and then it goes there. It's just a bit easy to miss. So it goes there behind the in the bathroom. So yeah, mystery solved. Okay, so then we've got, where have we got to? We have got to step 153. There's a lot of steps to this. Quite a lot in this kit. I think it's good value. This is. It's going to give you a lot of kit for your money. We've got now the ceiling coming in, and you've got these lights that have to go in. And there is the roof. That's like ceiling underneath, the roof on top, of course. Then you've got a load of supports where it's going to fix to the Leyland Retriever chassis, like clamps. And there's like a separate ladder rail system to adapt it to the chassis, so to speak. And then finally we've got lots and lots of external stowage bins for things like, probably things they'll need when they're out of the vehicle, like chairs and maybe tools and stuff like that, And then we've got mud guards going on here. And then there's these external boxes I mentioned, like storage boxes. Several of those that are going to be used outside. It might contain things like maintenance items like oil and water and stuff like that in bottles. And then you've got the back of where the back door is, and you've got there's a sun blind, I think it is, like a sunscreen that can be rolled down. You've got grab handles there going on, and again you've got sunscreens here too that roll over, like blinds that roll over the exterior of the windows. And then you've got another couple of stowage bins that are going to go in. In fact, it's like an aero. Actually, I say stowage bins. It's more like an aero cover, isn't it? Trying to probably stop the wind noise and any sand getting in between the cabin of the truck and the caravan. And then finally, you bring your caravan down onto your truck chassis. And then there's just a few ancillary items that have got to go in, like It looks like this is like part of the water system. I think this is like a water valve for the bathroom. And I've realised actually, haha, yes, there's more to this than I've thought. When I've just said that was to stop the sand, it's actually it's a water tank, and they've shaped it very cleverly, so it does look like it's a sort of screen to stop sand and and drag and noise, air noise when it's driving along. But this is it is in fact the water storage tank. You can tell because in this stage here it actually attaches to this water system. There's obviously a pump there. You can see there's a pump. There it is. And piping that then goes inside into the basin and into the... I don't think it goes into the toilet because I don't think it's not a flushing loo. It'll be a chemical one. Anyway, we don't get into too much detail there, do we? Talking about Monty's movements. Anyway, so then you get your headlights, and then we got those lights going out the front of the cab here. There's a starting handle, good old-fashioned starting handle, and then we've got different variants. So you've got the option here for the when you see in Africa, they've got like a sunscreen, which helps to just give some shade, obviously, and then here you've got the option of the sunscreen down or the sunscreen furled up, just rolled up like that. And then of course finally there's a nice little step ladder up to the vehicle. And then here, this is your carpet template for the carpet, showing you how it should be done. Is that the full size? Can't be, surely. No? Yes? Is that it? No, it is. That is full size because it's just a rug. So you cut that out and stick the slightly worn out rug, and then the floor for the bathroom area as well. See that? As a template. Well, it's good that they give you that, isn't it? That's really cool. So there you go. So you've got, I would say, you've got two variants here. You've got the screen out at the back, screen not out. Probably wouldn't have that in Europe, would you, in Germany or France or whatever. And then finally we've got our call outs. So here we are, the full North Africa scheme, the desert scheme, as you would expect. Then we've got this Tripoli scheme where they've added a bit of green because it's obviously a lot more. There is a lot more vegetation and greenery around Tripoli, being nearer the coast. Summer 43, and then you've got the sort of Normandy onwards green screen scheme. It says spring 1945, but I'm pretty sure they probably ran it in that scheme for northern France anyway, because they just park it on the trees, you know, for shade anyway. So there we go. So that actually, it was a little tricky to talk you through that because it was actually not clear, like things like the toilet. I know, I haven't got an obsession with toilets, don't worry. It's just that it wasn't very clear. And it would have, if they could label them. I'll have a chat with ICM again because we have talked about this. I think that's when you come to vehicles that have got a lot of parts like this, and it's quite complicated. And it would be nice to know what the components are. It'd be very helpful to learn, you know, what you are assembling. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the plastic, which I said is incredibly well packed. Whether I'll get it all back in it remains to be seen. I must remember that the radiator goes at the opposite end to the roof. That makes sense to think about it, doesn't it? Right, let's have a look then. I think we're going to enjoy this. I will be auctioning this off as well for my Easter Ukraine supporting auction. I'm still trying to decide about which charities it's going to be benefiting. Don't worry, I'll come to you in plenty of time detailing all that for you. So it won't be left as a mystery. What's that? We've got a piece off the sprue here. Definitely, that's a piece of something. Let's zoom you in then, have a look at what we got. So first of all, we have the roof. So this is keeps the sun off Monty, obviously, and the sand when you're in North Africa. Yeah, it's there's a little bit of marring would be too strong a word, but it's just in the plastic. It's not on the surface. It's just the way the plastic's dry. Can you see that slightly unusual pattern? And then this does remind us a little bit of when we had the other truck, the mobile chapel. We've got our divider there, some good detail, very good detail. And here you've got, this is the screen that furls up rolled up at the back, and then you've got what looks like some of the cushions for the sofa. Yeah, same here, sofa cushions. What I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to do this slightly differently. I'm going to put these items, I'm going to do them one at a time, I'm going to put them exactly back as I found it to try and get it back in the bag. Because as I say, I'm going to auction this off, and apart from my, gloved hands, you won't be having it touched by me. So, side walls for the exterior of the Monty's cab. And then here you've got, this is the bit I thought was a screen, but it's in fact the water tank, which goes between the cab and the main caravan. That's that one. Then we have got the exterior of the same, which you can clearly see there. Has quite a few fixes and fittings going on it. And then here we've got the, I think that might even be the low. So I see that one on the storage boxes. And then we've got the doors, which they seem to have done really nicely. Look at that. So you've got an internal door here, and that's the external door. That's very nice. That's that one. Then we have got the floor, and again we've got this sort of purling effect, haven't we? Marring effect of just the way the plastic has melted and then set. Here's the actual business end inside the floor, and then we've got the back. This is the bit that goes through to the bathroom, and that's the absolute. So it's the front, not the back. So that's the absolute front, and that's the internal divider. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yes, well, look at this. Here's the sink. Let's zoom in a bit more for this. Check this out. So here's the sink basin for your wash basin. Isn't that nice? Did I see a tap or not? And I'm pretty sure this is the cover for the loo seat here. I like that. That sink is very cool. Okay. Then we have the tyres, which are rubber ones, which I'm not usually a massive fan of, to be honest. Although ICM have produced a couple on some of their earlier kits that were absolutely stellar examples. Was it the, I can't remember which one it was now. I know that both they and they've done it again. This is actually very good, look at this. Now, if it's done brilliantly well, rubber is not so bad. It's just that it usually has a horrible seam and lots of problems, but this one, now I haven't got the benefit of the 20 times zoom. I'm just going to change glasses and stick with the bigger glasses because those are lovely. They do have there is a slight bit of flash. I don't know if I can get that. Probably easier if I put it in front of a white background. Hang on a second. Can you see that? There is just a tiny bit of flash there at the top. Yeah, see it? It's only on one spot though. And the rest of it is absolutely lovely. That's a really nice tyre. So like that. And you get obviously, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of those, because including the spare. Those are nice treads, aren't they? Right, that's that one. I think that little tiny squeaker flash just on one side. I think it may be the moulds. I think they've all got it actually in the same place. No, I'm wrong actually. No, they haven't. Just that one. Oh well, there we go then. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here. We can move on. Right. Now then, we have got lots and lots of sprues. I'm going to zoom back for this a little bit, I think. There we go. So what we've got here is, well, I don't know where to start. We've got leaf springs, which look really nice. You've got your steering wheel here. I'll go round the sprue, it makes more sense, I think. There we go. So we've got the steering wheel there. all manner of things really. Little door handles here. Got more leaf springs there. We've got part of the transmission here. Differentials, I should say, plural. And then we've got. And then we've got various bits of the drive shafts there. Drive shafts with the universal joints on them. What looks like that water system I talked about. That's the water pump in it. There's a spade over here. Starter handle. That's cool, isn't it? Hey. And then we've got all the headlamps and all sorts of little bits of gubbins really. And there's your fan, cooling fan for the engine. Big one. Very nice, very nice. Then we've got, this is a multiple set, so bear with me a tick, I'll just show you the one. And we've got the set here where you've got these various rails, I think they were from the chassis, I think that was. And you've got your wheels and your hubs, your disc brakes. It's very nice. Like that. Then on the other side we've got another double sprue, and we have here oh gosh, all manner of things that I can't really identify. There's just there's a lot of parts. This is reminding me of a Ryefield kit actually. The quality of the moulding is absolutely exquisite though. It's really nice. Again, like a Ryefield you could say. Yeah, I think this could be quite a good seller for ICM actually. I think it's going to be quite popular. They seem to have made a real effort with the detail, all the little brackets. These are the brackets for under the desk in his office. That's incredible. Okay, then we have got some parts of we've got the exhaust parts here. And part of the chassis there, and we've got some of the main end of the end of the differential at the back. I think that'll be like a bell housing, isn't it? And then we've got a spare wheel there, and then various parts of the bracket work. This is what props up the screen at the back, I think. And then, gosh, there's so many little sprues actually. And then we've got, this is the water system I spoke about. It's got the turbo, well, sorry, not turbo, the water pump I should say. And this takes the water from so it's that way up. It takes the water from the tank at the top and then pumps it down and into the wash basin for the toilet bathroom area. How cool is that? And then you got all these little stowage boxes. Yeah, some really exquisite details again. And then we have got the front of the actual cab, front windscreen, because it's very flat at the front and it just has this, the engine is sort of straight through in the middle. Very unusual design really, but very, simple. And then obviously this is where your radiator goes, and then this is the cover, the screen cover, tarpaulin cover over the roof, forms the roof. Which is nice, I like the way they've got the pleating effect in that, very nicely done. Then, let's move that over there. Then we have got, there's another piece there, I think there's two of the same piece that must have broken off, I'm not sure where. Make sure I get those safely back in the bag. Then we've got this very large sprue, so I'll zoom you back. This very big sprue which has got the mud guards on it, fuel tank, and the lower front of the cab. It's got the sides of the chassis, leaf springs there already, and then that's for the front I think, and then you put the other leaf springs in for the rear axles. There seems to be an alternative roof here for the cab. It's less of an African one, more of a hard top type thing, tonneau cover. That I think is the sofa seat, if I'm not mistaken. Or is that the? Am I wrong here? Is that? No, I might be wrong here. I think it's possible that one of these. I'm not sure which is the sunscreen at the back. I think I was right the first time with this one, but I think that's the sunscreen at the back. But it's the seat. And then we have got here in plastic. Interestingly, we have actually got the radiator. But we have it here in photo etch, which we're going to take a look at. So let's have a nosy at that. Let's just see if we can get this out. Fight with it. Oops. Careful, careful. There we go. See how thin it is. Oh yeah, it's thin. It's very thin. But it's nice, isn't it? Oh, and it's got the Leyland badge. Look at the way they've done this. They've done this brilliantly. This is very cool. ICM don't usually give you photo etch, but they've done it here. They've done it rather well. Can we see that? Is that in focus? I think it is. The Leyland badge. Yeah. Isn't that cool? That is a nice piece of photo etch, actually. It's got a slight bow to it. I think it's quite, because it's so thin, I think it's easy to have problems, so just be careful with it. But that's a very nice piece of etch. I'm not a photo etch's biggest fan, as many of you will know, but that's well done. So it's nice to see. Is that the first ICM with photo etch in it? I can't think of another. Maybe my memory's failing me. It looks pretty good though, doesn't it? It really does. So, over there we have got that one. This is where I need to put it back soonest. Yes, nice, nice, nice. And then it just leaves, apart from the two parts that are broken off, but maybe three parts. I'm going to make sure they go back in the bag. In fact, why don't I put them in with that photo etch in that little tiny bag? Wouldn't that be a good idea? Because they're very, very small and delicate. I think a bit of space in there, so why don't we do that? That'd be very sensible. The trouble is, bit of static on it and it doesn't want to leave. It's gone there. Just put those three parts in just to be sure that we've got them all. Done. All safe. A tiny, tiny part. And then we've got, well, I think we've seen these before, maybe not. But we've got some clear parts. Well, they're just flat. And ICM's clear parts are, I'm not going to open these because I say this is going to go in the auction. So I don't want to have a risk of any scratches, but they're absolutely perfect. They're very simple, straight, sort of square, oblong for the windscreen, and then there's the headlights, and just square ones for the side windows. So not much point getting those out. They look absolutely perfect, I've got to say. Absolutely bomb. Lovely. What a nice kit. What a nice kit. That's better than I expected, actually. I thought it would be good, but it's got some features like that photo etch, which really are kind of new for ICM. Newer, shall we say. That is quite an impressive set. And, you know, how many stages were there? 180 or something? Let's have a quick look. Because it seemed to have a lot of steps, didn't it? I was amazed by that. There's more. 191 stages there. 191 steps. Wow! So that's a lot of kit. Huge amount of kit. Question now is, can I get this neatly back in the bag? I think I need to. You have to bear with me a second. Now, this is probably for your benefit. One of you may be bidding on this to own it, so it's important I do it properly. You get it back in there. All done nicely. In a professional manner. I think the fact that I was so meticulous. Ah! You're all shouting, I bet you're all shouting, you idiot! You absolute moron! Doesn't matter, mate. It'll be fine, he says. Famous lasting words. Will it go back in the box is the question. Having been packed slightly differently. Well, I bet that gave you a bit of comedy TV value. You'll say, he's missed the sprue behind him, what's he doing? Never mind. What a lovely, lovely model. Superb kit, that. Absolutely superb. Quite a bit of hair in there, but you want to go back in, does it? Will it? It does go back in. Quick, get the lid on before it changes its mind and starts to explode. Look at that! Right, there you go. So, that'll be an item when I do the charity auction for Ukraine. That will be one item. I'll do it as one item set together. So I think you'll be looking at, I'll give you just a guide, but I think you'll be looking at bidding at least, you'll be looking to pay at least £35 or more. And please remember when I do this Ukraine auction, which I'll go into more detail later, but it's not there to get rid of kits that are not wanted, needed, and just get rid of them and you get a bargain. That's not the aim of the auction. The aim of the auction is to generate as much as possible. Now, I don't expect people don't feel obliged to offer silly prices. I don't want people to bankrupt themselves, even though it's for charity, but try to just bear that in mind. And I'm thinking that's a £35–40 kit with another £10–12 paint set. So you're looking at about 60 quid's worth there, I reckon. £55 to £60 in total actual retail price. So I'm hoping to get 40 to £50 I would like to see. And what I'll do, I think I'll set a reserve price just to protect, so we do get, people. I'm sure this will be a popular item, so just bear that in mind. I think to buy that set, I actually gave away the figures mid-late last year when it came after it came out, so I haven't got those to go with it, sadly, but I can certainly recommend those figures, and they're only cheap. You can pick them up for about £15–20. But I'm just saying that try to remember that it's there to help others. It's not for my benefit, certainly at all. But there will be a charge. I will have to charge you whatever the postage is, because there's quite a few items, and I have to just pass that cost on. So you'll be looking at, I think, sort of around £40 to £45 or more, please. That's what we're looking for. I think I'll probably set it at sort of £39.99 as a starting price, which I don't think is unreasonable when you're getting all that. You're getting a fantastic set there with the paints as well. You don't have to think about what paints you need, you just crack on, brilliant. So anyway, well, I'll get into more detail about that later, but as I say, something like that postage-wise won't be much. It'll be, postage for most of these items is going to be very small ones. We have got some other paint sets, which I'll tell you more about later. If it's just a paint set, it's going to be about £2.40, I think. And if it's £2.40 to £2.80, don't quote me on it. And if it's one of the sort of smaller kits, it's going to be about £4.80. Something bigger, so this is probably going to be about £5.80, I think. I'm trying to remember what the Royal Mail postages are. However, we need to talk. We'll talk near the time about overseas. I don't really want to sell them overseas, if I'm honest, just because of the complication of it. It'll get expensive. That's the problem. I think it's best if it's a UK auction. But I'll go into the details separately. But even the bigger kits, and there's some bigger kits, they're not going to be more than about, postage-wise, they shouldn't exceed about £8 max. Between £6 and £8, I think. But we do like to pack them very well when we send stuff out. So, yeah, bear that in mind. Again, we're not going for the cheapest possible postage. We want it to get to you in one piece. And I wish some of my suppliers would remember that. And I'm not talking about ICM, I'm not talking about people like Tiger Hobbies, but one or two others who are very cheap suppliers. There's a reason they're cheap. I've got one in particular in mind, I won't name them, but I bought something from them recently, and again it arrived with creases and bash box. That's what you get what you pay for. Yeah, anyway. Getting back to Monty's caravan, how do I summarise it? Well, I don't know what I can come up with really. I mean, I have to say that those the portraits of the generals, the photographs of the generals, they're fantastic. I mean, that Decal set is brilliant. It's going to look $1 million. If you get that and then you get those figures inside, put it inside or have them walking in, you know, absolutely fantastic. Only problem you've got is whether you're going to get to see the interior detail very much with that. That's the only downside to this. Tricky. But anyway, in terms of a score, I'm trying to think of any legitimate reason I can't give it 10 out of 10. I think maybe just the rubber wheels, because I'm not a big fan. Everybody knows I'm not a huge fan of rubber wheels. I'm going to give it 9.75 out of 10. And to be honest, it's a hair's breadth from being a 10, to be honest. There's nothing else at all. It's absolutely brilliant as a set, and in this case it comes with the paints as well. I mean, it's a 10 out of 10, but I just don't want to be seen to be giving them 10 out of 10 because they provided the kit. There's no benefit to me because I say I'm going to auction it all anyway. So I've got no actual vested interest in giving them a score that's higher than it deserves. It's just that good. I mean, look at that radiator with the photo action, the Leyland. The Leyland logo. I would just say something though about that, which has caught my eye. It doesn't say Leyland, does it? It doesn't seem to say Leyland on the box art. Maybe it's a licensing issue. I'm not sure. It says Retriever. It says Jungle Goddess, Audrey Retriever. And yet it says Leyland on the photo. So I've got a feeling they didn't want to put the name Leyland on the front in case somebody made a copyright claim or a licensing marketing claim for merchandising, all that stuff. Interesting, but it's a beautiful kit, absolutely fantastic. The only thing missing really is a driver. It'd be nice to have had a driver, wouldn't it? I wonder if that's something that ICM might. I need to check their existing catalogue. They may have something similar already. Perhaps if they were to, do some generic British World War II Army drivers, that would be quite good. But I love it. That's a nice kit, and I can't believe how. There's nothing, is there? So I got it back in pretty good. I did a good job in the end. Hope you enjoyed the review. Please do tune in. I'll give you more notice near the time about this auction for Ukraine charities. There's going to be at least one, possibly two charities. I'm still working on that, so once it's all worked out, I'll give you all the details. I'm just looking across at the other kits. There's some nice kits. Some of the ones that you've seen already, some are brand new that you won't have seen the review of yet, probably. So you'll see me next probably doing reviews on those items. We have got the German Wehrmacht anti-aircraft vehicles. This is a good set with 3 anti-aircraft vehicles. Brilliant. And there's also the Ju-88 that's captured in either British or American markings, Allied markings. Lots to look forward to. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Great that you tuned in, and hope to see you very soon in the near future. And hope you'll join the auction and have a go at bidding on this, because I say if I get £50 for it or more, they're very happy with that. And try and remember it's for a good cause. We're trying to make sure it's for Ukrainian civilians, food, shelter, people that have been displaced, lost their homes, that sort of thing. But I say I'm still working on which charities are the best ones, so bear with me on that. And hope to see you again soon. So it's almost a 10 out of 10, frankly, for ICM. Thank you very much for providing it. It's even better than I expected. That I really like it, especially with these things, to the posters of the German generals. And please give us a like, give us a thumbs up, give us a 10 out of 10. And until next time, I'll see you very soon. Stay well, stay safe, look after yourselves. Thanks a lot. Until next time, bye for now.